Holy, we actually get to have good news about Canada and about Alberta. This is like the second time in a row. Well, earlier this month, I think it was at the beginning of the month, in on or around October 6th or 7th, I can't quite remember, but Alberta ended up getting a new premier. Premier-elect, okay, we're supposed to be, as Albertans, heading to the polls next year at some point or another, okay, and we actually have, you know, like a real leader of this UPC, United Conservative Party for once. And it's nice because it's been a long old time where you've been able to just go ahead and point to the premier and say, that's a good person leading the party. The last time that I could honestly do that, well, I couldn't actually vote for the guy, Ralph Klein. That was a long time ago. Need not get into the history of that one, but he was King Ralph for a reason. The dude was great. And even when I was a minor at the time, things were going so good in Alberta. This was before the oil boom and, you know, Canada doing extremely well, weathering the global financial crisis in 2008 because Stephen Harper was a great prime minister. Controversial take for some ill-informed idiots that are out there, but he was a great guy. But Ralph Klein leaving the position of premier from Alberta ended up, you know, just setting off a cascade of less than quality premiers over the years. But now, hey man, it's been a minute. But it looks like our patience has been well rewarded this time around, even though it comes in the form of a female. But hey, you got to take it every which way you can get it. But again, I'll praise her just like I praise Carrie Lake and Brendan for governor in Arizona. And if I've said it once, I'll say it again. I only look for exceptional politicians, ones that I'd give any sort of deference to. Danielle Smith is definitely one of those people, alongside Kari Smith. I don't care. Man, woman, alien. Not illegal, though. Get back to your country. If you're an exceptional individual, we need you for these exceptional times that we have right now. So let's go over who Danielle Smith is, according to CTV News. Whew, this could be a crapshoot. Okay, United Conservative Party of Alberta. Okay, the Alberta United Conservative Party, which is, you know, it's like 19th incarnation at this point. They just keep losing. The Conservative Party, they lose, they blow up. Okay, and then there's a splinter group that wants to be a little bit more right-leaning, a little bit more conservative-minded, and they end up getting some traction, and then whatever remains of the Conservative Party ends up joining up with them, and then they take back the House. Yay, wonderful, fantastic. The cycle continues anew. Has placed Danielle Smith, the former leader of the now defunct Wild Rose Party. Yes, that was the other party that ended up merging with what remained of the Conservative Party. And then, yeah, they went with Jason Kenney for whatever reason. He was fine, okay? He was, as a premier, outside of COVID, pretty good. Pretty good, okay? He was about a 6 at the time, but then the way that he bungled the coof, I couldn't put him any higher than a 4. Like, the dude just absolutely caved. He stayed in Edmonton, listened to all of the stupid liberal influence that's right there. Didn't go outside of that bubble, that sphere. Then kind of gained a little bit more traction when it came to the trucker protests at the beginning of the year, dropping some of the stupid restrictions you shouldn't have put in to begin with. But it was too little, too late. But here's some information on Danielle Smith, okay, outside of, yeah, she used to be the former leader of the Wild Rose Party, which was, yeah, the more right-leaning party that is out there in our provincial level parliamentary system. There was, at that time, about 4 viable parties, more or less, but it still just ended up breaking down into a right versus left paradigm, with the Liberal Party of Alberta being not all that relevant, and then you have the NDP on the other side, which is led by a communist sympathizer. And she was premier for one stead, and it was terrible. We were the first province. Get this one. We have all of the natural resources at our fingertips, okay? The entire province is driven on it. So what was Rachel Notley's first decision? Carbon tax. Carbon tax for everybody. We're going to go ahead and we're going to beat Trudeau. We're just going to be such good partners. And then you got absolutely BTFO'd in the next election. Like, what happened? And she didn't even have the dignity to step down as leader. It's like, nobody's going to vote for you again, dude. We gave you deference to begin with. And then you still have the audacity to stay on as the leader. The fuck is wrong with you? But anyways, yeah, she's going to end up getting fucking BTFO'd by Danielle Smith, who is, again, ooh, awfully fucking good for this position. A 51-year-old who lives in High River, southern Alberta, okay, completely and utterly at the other end of the province from where I'm at, but our ideas kind of line up a little bit more than any other leader that's been on top for a while. Will become Alberta's next premier, but will first need to secure a seat in the legislature. Smith was named the leader of the Wild Rose Party in Alberta in 2009 and was elected as MLA for Highwood in 2012. She crossed the floor to join the governing Progressive Conservatives under Premier Jim Prentice. That was... Where did he come in? Oh my God. It was such a cascade of failure after Ralph Klein left, because there was a couple of guys right there up at the top that looked like they were primed to take over, and they would have been great handoffs. And then some stupid pierogi sucker from the middle of the province. Oh my God. Ed Stelmach, worst premier ever, took all of that goodwill that Ralph Klein fostered for all of those fucking years and then just dropped it like a finely painted egg. Fucking moron. I think he's dead now. Good riddance. Anyways, back to this. Prentice was sometime after that. There was like 3 or 4 premiers that I don't even fucking remember. They just came in quick succession like that because everybody kept failing in real time. That allowed the NDP to rise because the Conservatives can't spell con without... Or you can't spell conservative without con. See, I'm so worked up with it. I can't even get my joke straight. Alongside 8 Wild Rose caucus members in December 2014. Yeah, that's when they folded in. The move left the Wild Rose Party, the official opposition, with only 5 sitting members. She sought the PC party nomination for Highwood in 2015, but was defeated by Okotoks councillor Carrie Fisher. Not that one. I don't know what her predilection for cocaine is, but I don't think it's the same one. PC party lost handily to Notley-led NDP in 2015. Yeah, that was after just absolutely fucking away all the support because it just kept on being constant leadership overturns. Okay, where the fuck is this party going? Why do you keep trying all of these different leaders that we don't like? There are people that we could actually get behind and support. And then it's like, fuck it, we're just going to try something different. And then within, one short term, we realized that, oh, that's too much different. Okay, so we just ended up regressing back to the norm, which was Jason Kenney. I was like, eh. But yeah, back to this stupid Rachel Notley, finishing 3rd behind Wild Rose with Brian Jean at the reins. UCP was created in 2017, bringing the Wild Rose and PC parties together to create a united front in an effort to oust the NDP, and it worked spectacularly. Unfortunately, no, it's definitely better than the NDP. Don't get it twisted. During her departure from politics, Smith spent 6 years as a talk show radio host with Chorus Entertainment before moving on to become president of Alberta Enterprise Group. Yeah, she's actually done business stuff that's benefited Albertans, as opposed to any of the other politicians that were all too willing to bend over and say, "We love coof policies. They're great and wonderful. Fantastic. Just 6 inches deeper, please." Fucking dolts. In April of this year, Smith announced her plans for a foray back into the provincial politics scene as a UPC member, with her sights set squarely on the party's leadership position by way of nomination from the Livingstone-Macleod riding, wherever the fuck that is. Roger Reid was and remains the UCP MLA for Livingstone-Macleod. At the time, Premier Jason Kenney, he's gone now, fuck him, was facing a leadership vote as questions swirled around his standing within the party amid dwindling approval ratings. He was fine. He was maintaining a stiff upper lip, but then when everybody else in this fucking godforsaken country decided to wilt under the pressure, "Oh, there's like 7 cases in our province. We should shut everything down." He was fine for a minute, but then it's like, "Oh, well, all my friends in Edmonton think that it's a good idea, so there's like a dozen cases outside of the big fucking city, so we should just go ahead and lock down like China, because that's smart." And then everybody started to drop off. They're kind of leaving out that part, but your boy here, don't forget. Smith pulled a few punches in April regarding the optics of the cancellation of UPC's general meeting in Red Deer. Another great little city here. God, Alberta's great, but it's just, surrounded by cuckoldry. Oh, when it looked like the premier was going to lose, the party cancelled it. Oh, or how she viewed the premier's standing with rural Albertans. There are people who are offended that he doesn't seem to understand rural Alberta. Hey, see, woman after my own heart right here, okay? She actually understands that there's more than just the 5 big cities in Alberta. It's a big fucking place, and most of the land, most of the people aren't in Red Deer, aren't in Edmonton, aren't in Calgary, aren't in Lethbridge, aren't in Medicine Hat, okay? There's more to the fucking province than just those places, okay? Everything north of Alberta, like Grand Prairie is the biggest city north of Edmonton, and it's big, it's sprawling, and there's 70,000 people within the city confines. Ain't that big. Ain't that fucking big. So the way that we handle business here is very, very different than the metropolis of Calgary would have to deal with things, okay? But no, not when you're Jason Kenney and his close advisors that are out there that were telling you one thing and then getting flued out to Mexico for Christmas holidays while everybody else had to lock down and be scared. Not invite anybody into your house for fear of the RCMP kicking down the front door. Cunts. After declaring her intention to run and become UCP leader after Kenney announced his plans to resign, round of applause once again for that. Smith said her first order of business as premier was to bring forth Bill 1, known as Alberta Sovereignty Act. Oh! Yay! It makes me so fucking happy. To increase Alberta's autonomy over the federal government. Oh, yes! Earlier this month, Smith said she would seek an early opportunity to get into the legislature if she won the leadership vote, stating her preference would be to run in a by-election in a rural riding and not Calgary Elbow, which remains vacant following Doug Schweitzer's departure. Don't know who the fuck that is. She also said she would not call a snap general election and would likely keep the same members of Kenney's cabinets in their current roles. Yeah, guess what? Dance for the queen right now, because guess what? Your fucking jobs. You only have them for right now. I think the person that she ended up beating and the guy who came in second is actually my MLA, Travis Taves. But fuck that dude. And again, that's the nice sanitized version. Oh, she's one of them there, Western sovereignists. No, you need to cling on to the coattails of Justin Trudeau in order to accomplish anything. Get fucked. So you heard the sanitized version from CTV, which is about the nicest they can go. Because again, if that was Dan Smith, oh, they would have been a whole hell of a lot more vicious. But they kind of, they're just telling you the story through gritted teeth. Yeah, she was elected, and she was the leader of the far right wing Nazi party, the Wild Rose Party of Alberta. But now we'll actually get a fucking, decent take out there. Because I want a couple more details on this lady. I like her. I like her so far, especially saying Alberta sovereignty. Because again, that's been something that's been bandied about ever since, even before Trudeau really rose to power and assumed his throne as Chancellor of Canada. Like the whole Wexit movement. I even got one of the first videos that I have on my channel. Wasn't necessarily well received, but I still stand by my take on that one. The whole haphazard approach of just, oh, we're just going to get rid of, Western Canada, eh? And we're just going to go be our own country, huh? It's not going to fucking work because we'd have to take our retarded cousins, speaking about Alberta and Saskatchewan, we'd have to end up, just shackling ourselves with the absolute retardation of BC. Most of BC is fine, okay? Except for, those two cancerous spots, okay? That is Victoria and Vancouver. It's kind of the equivalent of having your own very specialized weed-infused Portland and Seattle, just with none of the artistic merit, but with all the human feces on the streets. And then, yeah, drag along Manitoba. It's like having to bring along the special cousin with the fucking propeller hat. Nobody likes Manitoba. It's just a place that you drive through in order to get to fucking Ontario. But hey, man, if Smith ends up taking over and she just signs the Sovereignty Act and she, deuces from the fucking federal government, I'd love her so much. Because we have natural resources for fucking days. And if we can deal directly with the United States, once I get that shit figured out down south, God, we'll be golden. We'll be golden. Because remember, you might remember that small project that's down there called the Keystone XL pipeline. All of our shit on our side, oh, it's all done. It's ready to fucking go. We can just turn on the spigot at a moment's notice. All the construction just needs to be done down south. We just got to wait for a proper House and president. So hey, man, if she can get in there and she can get everything all done and dusted and settled by 2023, God bless her. God bless her. The ruling United Conservative Party in a Canadian province of Alberta, has selected a new leader known for her sovereignist stance towards the Canadian federal government, led by Danielle Smith, was elected the new leader of the United Conservative Party and will become Alberta's new premier and head of the provincial government after succeeding former Premier Jason Kenney. God fucking bless your departure. Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. Who stepped down earlier this year after 3 years in office. Fucking failure. Following her victory, Smith made it clear that she supports an Alberta free from interference from the federal government led by Prime Minister saying, no longer will Alberta ask permission from Ottawa to be prosperous and free. We will not have our voices silenced or censored. We will not be told what we must put in our bodies in order that we may work or travel. Fucking based. We will not have our resources landlocked. or our energy phased out by the existence, by virtue, signaling prime ministers. Albertans, not Ottawa, will chart our own destiny on our terms, and we will work with our fellow Canadians to build the most free and prosperous country on earth. She's speaking my language. That's, without getting too graphic, she's speaking my language. Smith is noted for his support of the Alberta Sovereignty Act, which could allow the Alberta government to ignore laws passed in Ottawa if it's determined that those laws were contrary to the interest of the province and its residents. Oh, man. Alberta's lieutenant governor, I know, it's fucking French shit and, you know, bilingual nature of Canada. Can that be in there for the Sovereignty Act? Get rid of stupid French because it's retarded. Or les retards. Salma Lakini, a Ugandan-born Muslim appointed to her post on Trudeau's advice, great, has threatened to block the act. You don't like it, get the fuck back to Uganda. Uganda, you go back to. However, using veto powers derived from the monarchy, which were seldom exercised in Canadian politics. What's that called? Monarchical ascension? I think when we were going over all of the Queen dying stuff, that was in there at some point or another. We will try to cross that bridge when we get to it, and we will have the appropriate advice that we need as to whether we can sign, whether it is against our constitution. Yeah, fuck you. You just got here and you're trying to make decisions for actual Albertans? Fuck off. Lakhani said earlier this year in August, what I would call a constitutional fire extinguisher. We don't have to use it a lot, but sometimes we do, she said, claiming that we want to do the right thing for our people and for our constitution. And the right thing is separating so much reliance and dependence with the federal government, because it's not just unique to Trudeau, okay? It's not even unique to the name of Trudeau, okay? Most liberal prime ministers don't give a fuck of anything west of the Ontario border. Like in America, you guys have a north-south split. In Canada, it's an east-west split. Most of the people live in Ontario and Quebec. Great, wonderful, fantastic. All of the money is made out west, and they think that by virtue of having so many people in the greater Toronto area, they're entitled to the control and benefits of our robust economy. Get fucked. You already drain our pockets dry thanks to equalization payments because the maritime provinces should just fuck off and fall into the Atlantic Ocean. Christ, there's nobody there. All of them fucking moved over here to go to work, for Christ's sake, so you wouldn't be missing. There'd be like 6 people that ended up dropping off in PEI. Alberta has seen its separatist and sovereignist movements bolstered since Trudeau came to power in 2015-2019 poll, showing that around 1 in 3 Albertans supported leaving the Dominion of Canada altogether. Hey man, again, there's some kind of an organized movement, but I would definitely 1000% support the Alberta Sovereignty Act, because that right there, I have to do a little bit more digging into it. Maybe when, you know, hey, that becomes a little bit more of a reality, we'll do a deep dive on it because, you know, hey, it's going to directly affect me, at least for the time being. And I love Alberta. Like, okay, it's the only province that I've known as a home. I'm from the north all the way to the south, drove it all, visited it all, okay? There's lakes, there's mountain ranges, fucking Christ. Within, you know, like a 30-minute drive, I can go to be in the Rocky Mountains, or I can be places as flat as a Chinese lady's ass. Cold as fuck in the winter time, but hey man, we can get like 30, 40, I've got screenshots, 45 last year in the summer, okay? Like, it gets hot as a motherfucker, it gets cold as shit, you get to experience everything. And then for living in Canada, for wherever that's fucking worth, you know, the taxes are relatively low, which is still like Californian prices. I love it here. I would love for it to succeed. And this is definitely 1000% a step in the right direction. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.